state of Iowa. Let me first of all say, to God be the glory. Tonight is a victory for the grassroots. Tonight is a victory for courageous conservatives across Iowa and all across this great nation. Tonight, the state of Iowa has spoken. Iowa has sent notice that the Republican nominee and the next president of the United States will not be chosen by the media. Will not be chosen by the Washington establishment. Will not be chosen by the lobbyists, but will be chosen by the most incredible, powerful force where all sovereignty resides in our nation, by we the people, the American people. Tonight, thanks to the incredible hard work of everyone gathered here, of courageous conservatives across this state, we together earn the votes of 48,608 Iowans. To put in perspective your incredible victory that you have won tonight, that is the most votes ever cast for any Republican primary winner. Tonight is a victory for millions of Americans who have shouldered the burden of 7 years of Washington deals run amok. Tonight is a victory for every American who's watched in dismay as career politicians in Washington, in both parties, refuse to listen and too often fail to keep their commitments to the people. Tonight is a victory for every American who understands that after we survived 8 long years of the Obama presidency, that no one personality can right the wrongs done by Washington. The millions who understand that it is a commitment to the Constitution, to our shared insistence that we rise and return to a higher standard, the very standard that gave birth to the greatest nation that the world has ever known. To the revolutionary understanding that all men and all women are created equal. That our rights do not come from the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or even from the Tea Party. Our rights come from our Creator. And the federal government's role, the federal government's responsibility is to defend those fundamental rights, to defend us. And while Americans will continue to suffer under a president who has set an agenda that is causing millions to hurt across this country, I want to remind you of the promise of Scripture. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Tonight, Iowa has proclaimed to the world, morning is coming. Morning is coming. From day one, this campaign has been a movement. From millions of Americans across this country to organize, to rally, to come together. Whatever Washington says, they cannot keep the people down. And tonight is a testament to the people's commitments, to their yearnings to get back to our core commitments, free market principles, constitutional liberties, and the Judeo-Christian values that built this great nation. When the Washington lobby has settled on other candidates in this race, when the media in one voice said a conservative cannot win, nationwide, over 800,000 contributions poured in to tedcruz.org as courageous conservatives said, yes, we can. 800,000 contributions at tedcruz.org with an average contribution of $67. That is the power of the grassroots. But it's more than that. It's 12,000 volunteers here in the state of Iowa. It's over 200,000 volunteers all across this great nation. You know, during the course of this campaign, people have asked Heidi and me, are you tired? And I will admit, it is 16, 18 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. We are not tired at all. To the contrary, we are inspired by each and every one of you. I leap out of bed every morning amazed that at a time when our country is in crisis, every one of us has the opportunity to stand and lead, that we have been put in a place of leadership for such a time as this.
All right, we're going to break away from Ted Cruz, the winner of the Iowa Republican caucuses. There you see Hillary Clinton and her husband and daughter. She's about to speak. She's slightly ahead of Bernie Sanders right now.
Wow, what a night! An unbelievable night. What a great campaign. This has been an incredible honor to campaign across Iowa with so many of you to make the case for the kind of future we want for the Democratic Party and for the United States of America. There is so much at stake in this election. I don't need to tell you. Every single one of you who came out for me, who worked so many hours, from my young organizers with energy and passion, to the families and friends across this state, I am deeply grateful. Well, I love all of you. But here's what I want you to know. It is rare. It is rare that we have the opportunity we do now to have a real contest of ideas, to really think hard about what the Democratic Party stands for and what we want the future of our country to look like if we do our part to build it. I am a progressive who gets things done for people. I am honored to stand in the long line of American reformers who make up our minds that the status quo is not good enough, that standing still is not an option, and that brings people together to find ways forward that will improve the lives of Americans. I look back over the years of my involvement from that very first job I had at the Children's Defense Fund, and I know what we are capable of doing. I know we can create more good-paying jobs and raise incomes for hardworking Americans again. I know that we can finish the job of universal health care coverage for every single man, woman, and child. I know we can combat climate change and be the clean energy superpower of the 21st century. I know we can make our education system work for every one of our children, especially those who come with disadvantages. I know we can make college affordable and get student debt off the backs of young people. And I know we can protect our rights, women's rights, gay rights, voting rights, immigrant rights, workers' rights. I know, too, we can stand up to the gun lobby and get common sense gun safety measures. And how do we do that? We do that by securing the nomination, and then we do it by winning and going into that White House, as others before have, determined to push forward on the great goals and values that unite us as Americans. I congratulate my esteemed friends and opponents. I wish Governor O'Malley the very best. He's a great public servant who has served Maryland and our country. And I am excited about really getting into the debate with Senator Sanders about the best way forward to fight for us and America. In the last few weeks, we finally began to have what I think is one of the most important substantive conversations that the Democratic Party could have. And I am thrilled at all the people who are playing a part in that. I know that we may have differences of opinion about how best to achieve our goals, but I believe we have a very clear idea that the Democratic Party and this campaign stands for what is best in America, and we have to be united. When it is all said and done, we have to be united against a Republican vision and candidates who would drive us apart and divide us. That is not who we are, my friends. I followed their campaign very closely. I understand what they're appealing to, and I intend to stand against it. I will not let their divisiveness, their efforts to rip away the progress that we've made, be successful, because we can't afford that. So as I stand here tonight, breathing a big sigh of relief, thank you, Iowa. I want you to know, I will keep doing what I have done my entire life. I will keep standing up for you. I will keep fighting for you. I will always work to achieve the America that I believe in, where the promise of that dream that we hold out to our children and our grandchildren never fades, but inspires generations to come. Join me. Let's go win the nomination. Thank you all, and God bless you.
This is my fight song.
There you have Hillary Clinton, the Main her speech. Let's get a quick feedback from some of our panelists. David Gergen.
Animated, spirited. We're going to have some great debates with Bernie Sanders.
No doubt it's about to get a lot more.
It's going to be a much longer campaign, but I thought she came out, given the circumstances, she knew she'd escape, but she did it, I think, with all the spirit. You know, she's tough, and she wants to be, isn't she?
She seems to be. I mean, from that town hall that CNN recently did, and that was the first time I'd been in the same room with her, and certainly in that room, she played very well, as did Bernie Sanders, frankly. She seemed to be in the zone in these final days, as did Sanders.
That's a really good point. Yeah, some people do that. It's like baseball. If you can get in that zone, you can just, the ball's bigger. It comes at you, and she seemed to have found more of a voice. I don't think it's dramatic, but I think she's better than she was.
Clearly, we're waiting to hear, obviously, from Bernie Sanders as well, Gloria.
I think her campaign is